Fast and Furious movies contribute to illegal street racing. So we've all watched Fast and Furious movies. With all its flashy cars, huge meets, and high speeds, it is sending the wrong message to the younger generation. You wouldn't want to have the newest batch of teen drivers be under the impression that not only it would be cool to street race, but it would be without consequence. The movies inaccurately depict street racing, making it seem so simple, easy, and worst of all, safe. The stunt drivers expertly weave in and out of choreographed traffic, practically spelling it out for impressionable teenagers to imitate. And in reality, when they do imitate it, they are not expert stunt drivers. And the traffic, I assure you, is not choreographed. Los Angeles County Sheriff Jeff Green has worked to shut down illegal street racing, and had said, kids think that if you get a car and make it go fast, your life will be wonderful. Nobody gets killed, you do crazy stuff, and they have all these scantily dressed women who love them. You may not crash, but flying past the minivan may cause that driver to panic and swerve, causing an accident between a sedan with a family on the way home from Disneyland and a Mercedes with someone's grandparents. And if you don't believe the Fast and Furious movies have any influence on us, then listen to this. According to SEMA, the Specialty Equipment Marketing Association, retail sales of accessories for the vehicles shown in the Fast and Furious movies increased by 59% in 2001, which is the year of its first release. The first Fast and Furious movie came out in 2001. With approximately 72% of the consumers between the ages of 16 and 25. Even the night the first Fast and Furious movie debuted, 5 people nationwide died of street racing. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported that in 2001, street racing was listed by police as a factor in 135 fatal crashes, up from 72 in 2000. 100 people die annually in California alone due to street racing, according to the California DMV. During the past decade, more than 50,000 drivers from the state have pled guilty to participating in illegal speed contests. These stats don't even include the number of wrecks and injuries caused by street racing, which I'm sure would be a seemingly large number. People die in street races, often those who weren't racing. We'll never see them finish high school, get married, have families of their own, said Janet Moore, who lost her 2 young children to an alleged street race in a Los Angeles suburb. These occurrences aren't going unnoticed. Police forces nationwide are cracking down on the epidemic. Police in Ontario, Riverside, and Irwindale will share $1.2 million in funds provided by the Office of Traffic Safety to respond to this problem. This is part of a $5 million statewide effort to educate officers and other local law enforcement to spot illegal modifications on cars used for racing. Is this problem being solved? Not yet. What else is there to prevent these dangerous events from happening on our streets? It's called a track. We live in Southern California, and it's not difficult to come by a track every 25 miles. 10 miles west, we have the 8th mile at Irwindale. 5 miles east, we have the Pomona, the Fairplex drag strip. In San Bernardino, we have Willow Springs, and then in Riverside, we have Adams Raceway. Within an hour drive alone of where we are now, there are 14 drag strips, tracks, raceways, speedways, whatever you want to call them. Street racers may not know the availability of tracks in their area. They may not want to pay the fee to enter. They may not want to purchase a helmet or FIA-approved roll cage or suit and gloves. No, that's not it. Because former street racer Brian Harrison founded a program in 26 states that works with police to move the street racing to regulated tracks. Harrison said, not only are we saving lives, but we're also letting people know that there are fun options available. So why are people still street racing? It's a machismo, ego-uproaring, spontaneous thing. It has to be the convenience of it all. Rather than waking up early for a track day, they're staying out late for drag races. Rather than paying the track fee, they're betting that money on who wins the street race. And rather than buying FIA-approved safety gear, they're buying nitrous oxide for the streets. If you would rather support your hobby by reckless driving, breaking the law, and endangering people's lives than fueling it at the track where it belongs, then so be it. But give it a second thought. Next time you want to go out late at night and try and be cool, think about what I told you. Keep it on the track. Thank you.
All right, Andrew, there's a clear statement of what the proposition is, but there's not really a setup of the structure, and your supporting points as they come up, they're not really phrased as declarative sentences. It's more like a narrative in a story that you're talking about. If people are listening closely, they'll probably be able to follow your line of reasoning, but remember, when the larger the audience that you're talking to, the less people focus on what you're talking about. It's easy to miss points. And you're building a series of statements about street racing. Sometimes it sounds like an informative speech rather than an argument. And I do think that you've got arguments here, but they're not always, like I said, clearly highlighted. They're buried in the narrative story that you're passing along. I thought the supporting information was very good. You had excellent factual data on the number of deaths and arrests and all those sorts of things. You had some good statistics on the sales of products and the number of people who are involved in these kinds of issues. You had some good examples that you used of people who had been in accidents, but also about the racetracks that are available as alternatives. So there's some pretty good data here. I just think that you need to structure it a little bit more as an argument rather than a story. And then the generalizations will be easier to figure out what you're talking about. I think the presentation is actually pretty solid. You do a nice job speaking in a personable way about the subject. I think your eye contact with the audience could be a little bit more consistent. And at the end, you've got a good summary of the presentation, and your exit is fine. All right, thank you.